I'm starting over in GTA 5 Online from level 1 in 2023, and my goal for this series is to make $1 billion solo and completely legit. Welcome to Billionaire's Beginnings. Now, because I'm on PS5, we actually start off with a selection between 4 different careers, and I want to make this as relatable as possible because this is exclusive to the new gen consoles, so I made sure to buy things we'll have to replace later. I went with the most expensive CEO office, even though we're going to work towards a different one in this episode. I got the most expensive warehouse, picked up the Massacro, which is just a normal car, and then got 3 different weapons, which left us with just over $12,000, so not much, but it is a starting point. Once I'd done that, I went to customize my character, and then we hopped into Los Santos. Now, the first thing we had to do was take out a gang, and then we headed over to the CEO office where they gave us a little tour. We completed that up, and now it was ready to grind. So because I want this series to be as relatable as possible, the goal for this episode is to make enough money to purchase a CEO office, the Maze Bank West office, and then also a cargo crate warehouse. Doing that will essentially negate the fact that we were given the stuff that we already have, aside from the ammunition. Now, the best way to make money as a complete beginner is to do some of these important events. So the first one is the slasher event. We're going to go around the map and find different clues, and I'm going to show you all the locations here. There's going to be 4 in total at the beginning, and each time all you have to do is go up to them, inspect them, and earn $5,000, which is what I did. So we got those first 3, and the final one is on the side of this like barn or building saying, "Can you find me?" A little creepy, but that's cool. Now, the first 4 locations are the same for everyone, but the 5th one changes. There's 5 different locations that the clue can be. You just got to try all of them. There's guides already out on YouTube for them. We got lucky, got it on the second try. You see the van, get the clue, get rewarded with the money, and then you're going to have to go and wait at the airfield in Blaine County between 7 p.m. and 5 a.m. The slasher will show up, and you got to take him out. Once we take him out, we're going to be rewarded with $50,000 and then also the Navy revolver. And now we could go and do the Navy revolver challenge, where if you get 50 kills with it, you earn an additional $200,000, which is exactly what I did. This is a one-shot weapon, so it's very simple. You could drive anywhere where there's a population or lots of people, and it makes the challenge so simple. In total, this whole process took me about 30-ish minutes. The next event was the treasure hunt. So you're going to receive an email on your phone. It's going to show you a location. Once again, there's 20 different locations, so there's guides already out on YouTube on where exactly to find these clues. But you're going to find a clue. It's just going to be a note taped to something or nailed to something, I guess. We got that first one, and then there's going to be 3 different highlighted yellow areas on the map. All of these clues will be in the same area for everybody, so in the same place. The first one is that shovel. The second one is just this box that is empty. It's supposed to hold the gun next to the tree here, way out in Blaine County. And then the third one is going to be up in this little cave on the side of a hill. You're going to walk into it. It's a little bit of a weird... You'll see what I'm talking about. That's the final clue. Anyways, we move on. You do those 3, and then you're going to be given a location of a chest on your map. Just go to it, pick it up, and now you have the dual action revolver. Now, once again, this one comes with a kill challenge. So if you get 50 headshots, and yes, that's 50 headshots, it will take a little while, but once you complete it, you will then earn an additional $250,000. And once again, this process only takes about 30 minutes. Now, the final treasure hunt has to do with Maud. Essentially, she's going to give you 5 bounty targets. You could take them out or bring them in. I personally just take them out because it makes it a lot faster, but essentially there's going to be a different location given to you. It's going to be a yellow circle, and all you got to do is just drive around the place and try to find the target. When you're in close proximity, they will pop up on your minimap with a red icon. Take them out. Each time you do that, you'll get $5,000. You do it 5 times, and then you're going to be given a location to the stone hatchet, which is the final treasure hunt weapon. Once you get the stone hatchet, you do 25 kills with it, which is very simple. It's a 1-kill weapon or a 1-shot weapon again, and you earn an additional $250,000. And of course, once again, this one takes actually closer to 45 minutes. So all in, we're at about an hour and 45 minutes, and we've made about $800,000. Very simple, and pretty much anybody can do it. So we now had $800,000, but we still need an extra $450K in order to get the Maze Bank office as well as a warehouse. So what I decided to do next was the first dose storyline missions. You just go to the yellow R on the map, and these could be simple if you have a plan. But I was a man without a plan, and that proved to be quite problematic. So I'm going to go through different things that I would keep in mind for these missions. First off, you're going to need two things before going into all of it. You're going to need lots of ammo and a lot more patience, because you're going to need it. I promise you that. Anyway, so for the first mission, it's fairly simple at the beginning. Fend off enemies, and then you're going to head into a boat. Take this boat that's just on the shore, go across, and I found just driving right up the hill into their compound worked perfectly fine. Hop out. You're going to have to clear enemies through the middle of the compound, and you're going to want to get up to the top of the hill. That's where the journey is going to be. Take out different enemies. Actually, I think the journey sometimes changes places, but this is where it was for me. And once you take out enough enemies, just bolt. Go right for it. Get in the van, drive off. The people that are going to be chasing you aren't too difficult to fend off. And then the rest of the mission is pretty simple. You pick up Dax, you take it back to the Freak Shop, which is now a new property that we have. Now, like I said, we're going to earn $50,000 as a bonus after each one of these missions. There's going to be 5 total. And then at the finale mission, we're also going to earn a bonus $250,000. And that's why I'm doing this whole process. So the second first dose mission is pretty simple. You just got to go steal this truck from the shipyard. Eventually, enemies are going to hunt you down. They're going to shoot up the truck, and it will catch on fire. Just abandon it. You will then be given a location to your rival MC gang. You're going to head over to their clubhouse, and I found just hiding behind the wall here and tossing 3 grenades in these different locations essentially takes out everybody. So that works perfectly. You hop in there, take pictures of their different plans that they have on the wall, take some of the loot they got, and make out like a bandit. Get back to the Freak Shop, and that is the second mission done. Now the third mission is where things get interesting, and I, no joke, probably spent like an hour or more on this one mission, just trying different ways, figuring out what's the best way to go about doing it, because essentially you have to drive out to this place called Stab City and destroy a bunch of property. And of course, because we're level 1, we don't have like an armored Kuruma or anything that will help us with this. The amount of NPCs here are mind-blowing. So I just died over and over and over again. But I did have a solution. I took this from someone on YouTube, thankfully. I just decided to, screw it. I'm looking up somebody else's tutorial, and they had a really good idea. Go up to the top of this hill here, hop on your car. I picked up an RPG or a homing launcher for $75,000, and then you just shoot at all of your enemies down in Stab City from above. A couple of them may chase after you. You could just take them out, but that was much easier. You cause enough damage to complete that part of the mission. Now the second part of the mission, once again, is very difficult, and this is the mission that makes the actual process hard. The rest of it is pretty smooth sailing. So for this second half, you're then going to have to go to another compound that they have, and you're going to have to collect 10 packages of the blue stuff. And they're going to be spread out in different locations. I'll show you them here on screen. But you're just going to have to take out as many enemies as possible while going through this area. You get 2 lives. I suggest just being as cautious as you can with it. It should take maybe like 5-10 minutes to get through. Once you collect all 10 of them, you're then going to have to get into the airplane and take off. Now, like I said, don't be surprised if this takes you a little while. It took me a little bit, but eventually we get the mission done. And I should mention that in between all of that, in the middle of trying to complete that mission, I took a little break because I was getting pretty frustrated. And in that time, I did a few things. First, I did a Fooligan mission, which is you can just call up Dax. It's a simple 5-10 minute mission where you earn $50,000, which is great. And it also works us towards getting the equipment upgrade for the acid lab, which we'll talk about in a later episode. So we did that. We also then went to the casino, spun the lucky wheel, won a few thousand chips, plus got 5,000 as an entry bonus. So we then hit the roulette table. And after going down, I switched up the games, played some blackjack, and once again went down. And it was tough, but I had an incredible redemption arc and brought us all the way back up to 30K. And then at that point, I got a little cocky, brought us back down to even, and decided to leave it at that, cash out, and we got an extra $20,000 from all of that. I also did flight school, which took about an hour and earned us about $150,000. I suggest any beginner doing it because it's pretty simple. Well, not simple, but it's easy money. And the final thing I did in this downtime is go and run a random job, and I struck gold. I got people doing the agency deal, and because I was an associate, I made another $50,000 for about 20 minutes of work. So now that we're back on the first dose missions, we did number 4, which is essentially just a massive acid trip. So if you ever wondered what tripping absolute balls in GT5 look like, this is what it is. Number 5 is fairly simple. You're just going to a camp, blowing up a bunch of these tents and the equipment in them. You then follow a bunch of different vans, take them out as well around Blaine County, and you finally end off at this sort of compound again, take out their vans, take out a helicopter, and you drive away. For these missions, I highly suggest just having sticky bombs, of course, like an automatic weapon, and then the RPG, or the homing launcher rather. Those will come in handy for the helicopter, the equipment, the vans, everything in general. The final first dose mission is like a heist. You're going to go to the Humane Laboratory, break in, go through a bunch of crates. It really doesn't matter. You just got to finish these different checkpoints, and then you're going to have to beat a train to the certain train stop or station. I don't know what to call it, but you're going to have to pull a lever, divert the train. It's going to crash, and then the hardest part of the mission is going to come. You're going to have to go through a bunch of these different crates on this train and find a bunch of the different chemicals that you will need while fending off Merryweather and a bunch of attack choppers. So once again, having the homing launcher, assault rifles, stuff like that will really help you out. But once you do all of that, steal the 6x6 brigade, which eventually is the acid lab. We will worry about that in a later episode. You bring it back to the freak shop, and we are finally done the first dose missions. Like I said, being rewarded with $250,000 at the end of this final one. And at this point, we had finally made $1.3 million, which means we could purchase the Maze Bank West office for $1 million. We did get $260,000 back, but we're just going to use that for something else in a later episode, and we'll also pick up a cargo crate warehouse, which will be most likely our first grind of the series. Thank you for watching episode 1. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.